This tutorial will introduce the concept of standardizing channel assignments under the SNAPI protocol, where to find the SNAPI under the Netlink's help menu, as well as the snapi.axi file. In the previous video, you discovered the relationship between IR channels and the IR control functions stored in the IR file. At this point, you should understand that in order to control IR devices, one first needs to have the IR file that contains the IR functions for the IR controlled device. Not only that, but as a programmer, you must know what the IR channel assignments are for each of the stored functions. In Netlink Studio, you can view channel assignments in an IR file that is referenced in the workspace. So let's go and get an IR file. The device we are looking for is a Tascam DVD01U DVD player. We can download the IR file at amx.com. From the home page, go to Search Modules. I typed in Tascam as the manufacturer and DVD01U as the device model, and then hit Search. Select the model from the list and you are now able to download the available resource files like modules or IR files. We haven't talked about modules yet, so we're going to download the IR file. Select the disk icon next to the IR file and save the IR file in the same workspace folder that you have been using. Now let's get back to Netlink Studio. I'm going to add the IR shortcut to the workspace. Right-click on the IR folder in the workspace bar. Select Add Existing IR File. Select the Tascam 19 file and click Open. Feel free to change the identifier name if you wish, and when you are done, select OK. Notice the Tascam IR file is now referenced in our workspace. Let's now click on the IR Data tab at the bottom of the workspace window. Select the IR file you want to examine in the workspace tree with a single left click. Below the workspace header, you'll see reference information about the file, and below that you'll see the IR functions and their associated channel numbers. In the example shown of a DVD IR control file, Channel 1 is allocated to the play or select function, Channel 2 to stop or clear, Channel 3 is pause, and so on. While it is possible to store IR functions randomly, it makes sense to create a standard channel assignment reference that defines the IR channel assignments and ensures that IR files and the functions within are universally organized in the same order. AMX has done just that and defined an application reference called the Standard Netlink's Application Programming Interface, or SNAPI. In Netlink Studio, you'll find the SNAPI under Help on the menu bar. The SNAPI overview you see in front of you explains its various applications in detail. While we are focusing on SNAPI and how it applies to IR control assignments, it is also used for serial and IP programming applications. To summarize, the Standard Netlink's API is a list of channel assignments that programmers should follow. It ensures proper communication, standardizes commands, channel numbers, and so on across all control types and devices based upon device type, DVD, HVAC, etc. Using SNAPI simplifies programming and creates a level of consistency amongst programmers. That's not all. There are other applications which apply to SNAPI. You'll see more of these to come. So let's take a look in the SNAPI help file and find the channel assignments for our DVD player. Take a look under the Content section of the Standard Netlink's API, over here on the left. Under the headings you see here, a DVD player is classified under Devices, Components/Listeners. The first subheading you'll see under Devices is the one we're looking for. Single click on Standard Netlink's API, or SNAPI, Components/Listeners. On the right-hand side is the list of SNAPI groups which classify all the components and device types of a control system. Because the groups are classified in a way that covers multiple like device types, you won't specifically see a DVD device heading. That's because Blu-ray players and CD players, for example, are also classified under the same device type. They typically function in the same way. They all have play buttons, pause buttons, etc. But you will find what you need under the broader classification for all similar device types. In this case, there are two groups: disk device and disk transport. While a DVD player is a disk device, the disk transport is what we're after here, because the disk transport classifies the transport functions such as play, stop, and pause. Go ahead and click the disk transport. What you find is a table that lists the relevant functions and the part we're after, the channel assignments. Scan the available options under the constant heading and scroll down until you find what you need. For example, when you cross-reference the play constant with the channel, you get 1. Therefore, with reference to IR channel assignments, the IR play function is assigned to channel 1. Similarly, you can find the stop is channel 2, pause is channel 3, and so on. SNAPI help is useful for finding channel assignments, but it's not the only reference you have. When you install Netlink Studio, a host of useful libraries and files are installed along with it, including the SNAPI AXI file. Let's take a look. Close the help file for now and go back to the workspace. Click File Open. Browse to and open the snapi.axi file from its default location here. See Program Files, Common Files, AMX Share, AXIs, snapi.axi. Be sure to select All Files or Include Files from the Files of Type drop-down filter if you don't see it listed. As I scroll down through the Define Constant section, notice the comments grouping the various SNAPI identifiers by device type. These are similar to the assignments you'll find listed in the SNAPI help under the various device type and component classifications, except that they are more usefully organized for you and can easily be referenced from your source code. Try this. Hit Ctrl F, key in disk device, and hit enter. Scroll up a bit so you can see what's listed. It's all the associated control functions we've been talking about, listed by SNAPI channel assignment. Take some time to familiarize yourself. Any IR file you download from the amx.com Tech Center will always contain IR functions arranged in this way. Try downloading a few for yourself. Use Netlink Studio to view the various channel assignments using the IR Data tab, and notice how they correspond to the channel identifiers in the snapi.axi file. SNAPI should always be followed when learning IR codes. The snapi.axi contains code which can be useful to reference from other source files. For example, the constant identifiers for the SNAPI channel assignments. More on include files in the next tutorial.